Hey folks, it's Dave Yarnell here. I'm the author of this book and a number of other forgotten secrets of a number of things, but this is probably my most popular one. Forgotten Secrets of the Culver City Westside Barbell Club Revealed. Here's a picture of the crew back in the day. On the front cover. This book is over 400 pages. It has tons of actually reprinted old articles from a bunch of different magazines. Strength and Health, Iron Man, Muscle Builder and Power, quite a few, and others. And as you know, when you get these old magazines on eBay, you can pay easily $10 a magazine. Some of them are a lot more than that, usually for the good content that's in them. So you're getting content from a whole bunch of these magazines for the price of this book on Amazon is probably what you might pay for one of those magazines, one of the better ones, and well worth it. It's like a coffee table book. Like I said, it has tons of pictures, great articles. Can't say that it's everything you ever wanted to know about the original Culver City Westside Barbell Club, but it's, I think, the most comprehensive book you're going to find about them anywhere. I put a lot of work into it. Took me quite a while, and I had a lot of different sources. I went to forums. I used to be on a number of forums. The stuff I got from the forums, it's stuff I got, like I said, from magazines. And one of the best opportunities I had was I actually got to know Joe DeMarco, who's this gentleman right here. And he's not the most popular guy in the club. I believe that he's the only guy that was a regular in the club that was not on steroids at the time. Never did them. He told me that he came very close, actually had him in his possession, was getting ready to make an injection, and then decided no, he wasn't going to do it. And he stuck with that. And I really believe him. But he was first-hand knowledge because he trained with the club. He came up with some of the ideas, knew all the guys, hung out with all the guys. He trained in, obviously in Bill's Garage Gym in Culver City. He trained at Muscle Beach. He trained at the Old Gold's Gym. He trained at the Dungeon even. All these really cool old places. And he palled around with like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know if he palled around with him, but they both trained at Gold's at the same time. So he knew him. And unfortunately, the founder of the new Westside Barbell Club, Louis Simmons, passed away recently. But he named his club after these guys. He was a big fan of them. In fact, and he liked my book. He bought quite a few copies, and they were selling on his Westside Barbell site. May still be some on there, but they bought quite a few and a couple of my other books. Anyway, so here's a picture of the guys palling around with Bill in the middle. Bill seemed to be like a real jovial guy, cool guy to hang out with. First chapter is dedicated to him. The intro is quite a few pages, and the intro talks about Louis Simmons and his club and his early training days. I did talk about these guys somewhat in the book that was previous to this, which was my King Squat Rise to Power, which is another book that was a pretty decent seller and still out there. And you can get that for a pretty good price on Amazon also. But just go through and show you some of the pictures. There's Bill West and Joe DeMarco's families together. There's Bill when he was a bodybuilder. A lot of people don't know he did some bodybuilding before he got big into power. Speaking of Arnie, there's Bill and Arnie right there, pounding around, messing around. There's Louie back in his younger days. As I said in the intro, there's quite a bit of stuff on Louie. And of course, Louie was trying to get training tips from a lot of other people like Vincenello and Larry, and he got advice from them in his early days. And we talk about also the West Virginia Wild Bunch. And here's one of the famous guys from there. It's Roger Estep. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, honestly. But he was a real well-built guy. Looked like a bodybuilder, but he was quite the power lifter. But he went out west to train with these guys, and he brought back the ideas to the West Virginia crew, and then they started to use them, like box squats and touch system, which we'll talk about. And there's a couple other guys from the era: Bill Sino, Ernie France. Let's see, John Cook, Pensy guy, and of course Williams, Jim Williams, Cook's partner, and also a Pensy guy. John Cole, great athlete who was great in powerlifting and Olympic lifting, all-around athlete. There's Larry squatting back in the day. There's tons of pictures like this and articles and pictures from these magazines. There's Bill again. Going back. There he is, deadlifting off blocks. A couple of the other guys, I believe, looks like Lenny Ingro in the corner there. But there's tons of this stuff in here. Like I said, it's like a coffee table book. Paul Anderson's in here a little bit too. My man. But for the price of this book on Amazon, I'm telling you, you can't go wrong. So there's a number of articles from Muscle Builder Power that are like completely reprinted in here. And yeah, as I started to say, there's a number of articles that are reprinted from Muscle Builder Power back in the 60s. October 66 article. There's the cover. It's Larry Scott on the cover. It's called Triceps Power Cheats. So it's got the article, the print, the pictures that were in it. There's Larry again. The next one, 66 December, Muscle Builder. Most of these articles were actually written by Armin Tanny, as you know, retold, where he interviewed the Westside guys, the Culver City guys. It wasn't them actually writing it. So this one is about incline rack power presses, which was one of their things. And here you can see it's written by Armin Tanny. As I said, that's completely reprinted in here with pictures. Old school power rack. There's Bill in there doing them. Move on to March 68. There's Sergio on the cover. Also, Armentani article. And this one is called Lockout Prones. Build Fantastic Power. There's the cover. Looks like right out of the magazine. Pictures. Exactly what they did, techniques. Yeah. You got Chuck Sipes. There's Chucky again. Here's another muscle building power with Sergio on the front. This is the June 70 issue. And Weeder himself does an article on bench squats here. We got Change of Pace Power Training, another muscle builder. Armentani again, 1966. Change of Pace Power Training, also based on these guys' stuff. There's another one talking about George Friend, January 70 issue. George being powerlifter of the month here. And I posted recently some notes that my friend Jeff Agary, who introduced me to Joe DeMarco, that was actual notes from these guys training where Friend had squatted 605 for 30 reps. So how crazy is that? They did a lot of reps, those guys, and they always would they kind of had these formulas where they figured out, you know, if they did X number of reps with certain weight, it should lead to you know, obviously bigger singles. So, which is not, seems kind of counterintuitive to power training, but not so much. There's another thing, Strength and Health 72 article about George Friend. There he is on the cover. And George Friend squatted, I think 853 or right around there for, at the time was a world record. I think that held up for quite a while, and that was in the 242s, I believe. There he is again. Again. There's superstar Billy Graham. He was huge. There's Friend and Billy. There's Dave Draper, another great at the time, and another great guy, and unfortunately another guy that has passed away somewhat recently. He also trained at the old Gold. Alright, so then chapter 14, chapter on Joe DeMarco himself. There he is in his very early days. I guess he was a wannabe bodybuilder in this shot. This is an old picture I got from him personally. So it's got, there he is on the cover. Or not a cover, but inside one of the magazines. Another Armentani article about him. His power training probes are reaching new records. So, there he is. They are doing the belly toss, which is something you don't really hear about, but they would put a pad on their chest and have a crazy arch and really cheat their butts off. But you'd bring the bar down fast, bounce it off their chest, off the pad. Basically, that's what the pad was for, and would do, you know, past their normal weight, obviously. and it was a stimulus that was beyond the normal bench pressing, obviously. There he is doing, it's like good mornings. But there are chapters like this. There's the old moon bench. Chapters like this on every one of these guys. There's Chet Yorton. And there's stuff on, there's a chapter called Little Known Strongmen of the 50s and 60s, which has like Merjanian, when he was a huge guy, never really competed except informally, like on Muscle Beach and stuff. There's Muscle Beach stuff. George Eiferman, he was a really cool guy. Iron Man. There's another muscle builder cover. So, I mean, I could go on, but there's 400 pages of stuff like this. There's chapters on every one of the guys that were in the club and guys that trained with them, like Harold Connolly, who was a shot put thrower. Davis. There's Merjanian. This is the article about tug of war that they used to have, and some of these huge guys were involved. Talking about, there they are having this tug of war. That must have been wild. There's Merjanian playing around. These guys like to have fun. Well, I could go on, but I think you got the picture, and I think you realize that you cannot go wrong. There we have Chuck Ahrens, who's another one of those Muscle Beach monsters, doing some crazy, looks like in the tricep press. Looks like pretty good weight there. And he did a lot of crazy, like overhead, especially with dumbbells. Never competed formally, but was always with the crew and hung out with them. Drank a lot of milk. So there's stories about him and a bunch of people. I'm telling you, like, here's the back cover. You go to Amazon and just look up Dave Yarnell. I have a number of books. This one's on there again. Forgotten Secrets of the Culver City Westside Barbell Club Revealed. It's under $30. You cannot go wrong for that price. All right, signing out.